want to start with the ACC. I'm going to give it to you, and I know me and you have kind of been talking about some teams that have stood out, and I want to preface this by saying these are some of the teams like the ACC. We're not going to be talking about Miami and Clemson. We're going to be talking about some of these teams on the outside of that. So, Drew, in the ACC, I'm going to let you kick this one off.
Well, we're 5 months till the early signing period, right? So I think this is a great time to do this exercise, kind of look at the class rankings and figure out what's going on. And Cooper, I know you want to talk about Duke. We're going to talk a lot about Duke. We're going to nerd out on Duke. Mike Elko, he did not pay us to talk about Duke, but let's talk about this recruiting class. 32 right now. This is the chance to be the best recruiting class Duke has signed in over 5 years. And there's some guys I really love in that class. You know, I think they're doing a good job in the state of Georgia. TJ Simmons, defensive lineman out of the Peach State. I know Miami just offered him. Terry Simmons is actually how his name goes. But this is a good group, and it's really strong on the defensive side of the ball, which isn't surprising given Elko's background, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, talking with some people at Duke this morning, I think the biggest emphasis for them is that they had to get bigger. They were kind of known as a small team. So I think what they've done, offense and defensive line, I think for them, that was something that they really kind of had to lean into. They had to upgrade the size there. We talk so much about height, weight, speed all the time. So I think for Duke, you look at them and what they're trying to get done on the recruiting trail, they've kind of had to stretch their wings a little bit as well. 12 different states that they've gone to geographically. So they've done a good job.
And it sounds like they're going to play some freshmen, right? I think that pays off when you start recruiting different kids. Vincent Anthony, we've been in the 247 Sports offices the past 2 days. I've heard that name come up more than anyone else. Top 247 defensive lineman out of Texas that signed with the Blue Devils. Sounds like he'll play as a true freshman. So I'm excited about Duke in the future there. What else stands out about the ACC when we look at this list?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Louisville. And this is a team that obviously Scott Satterfield, big year for him, but it starts with Ruben Owens, 5-star running back out of Texas, certainly a guy that we like a lot. The more recent additions, 3-star receiver William Fowles out of Florida also as well. Stanquan Clark is another guy that we really like, but they've done a really good job in Florida, in California, and I think for Scott Satterfield, you just got to win this year, but you're sitting inside the top 20 right now at number 16. If you're Louisville, this is exactly where you want to be.
Hey Don, I was talking to one of their commits this morning, Madden Sanker, our number 3 interior ranked offensive lineman. I just think this is a strong group, and it's from recruiting hotbeds. You mentioned it. Louisville doesn't, the state of Kentucky doesn't produce talent. Louisville has gone into California. They get Pierce Clarkson, right? They go down to South Florida. They get Stanquan Clark. They get Will Foles. And they're shooting up in those rankings. We'll see how they finish. We mentioned it on Preps to Pros on Monday. Bobby Washington, they could visit. I was talking to someone else down in South Florida. Dwight Boodle, a cornerback that's coming into Nebraska, might visit. So I think if Louisville starts winning some games, I think they have a chance to keep this class together, and they got Malik Cunningham at quarterback. It's setting up very nicely for Scott Satterfield. When I think we initially thought a few months ago, hey, is he on the hot seat? Is Louisville going to be able to hold on to this class? Now I wouldn't be surprised if this class keeps rising in the rankings.
Year 4, 18 and 19 for Scott Satterfield in the last 3 classes, 44, 36, 41 right now at number 16. So they're setting up for their best finish under Scott Satterfield. That's going to be a big one.